Okay, we have this one first right here, so just will be just the same. You want to do it by your own, or you want me to just keep solving, or how do you feel?
Let me do it the way you taught me,
Okay.
and you can stop me
If something
if
happens.
right.
Perfect.
Cool.
Okay, let's do it
Okay.
that way. Awesome.
Right. So starting with the parentheses, we're gonna knock out the powers. Um, so the 6 times 6, 36 minus 12
That's then divided, right? That's the next one.
divided
Divided.
by
Okay.
16 divided by 2 times 2 times 2. So that's 8.
8.
Yes. Okay. Right. So going back, working left to right. Um 36 minus 12, 24, then divided, and then 16 divided by 8 is 2. 12 divided by 2, 12. Or 24 divided by 2, 12.
Correct. Very good. Very good.
Okay. Okay.
Excellent.
Um, you can't see it from the camera. I'm sweating bullets.
Oh, done.
Okay. So negative 10 minus parentheses in 2 plus 3 times 2 is 6 times.
Um, 3 to the square will be 3 times 3.
Thank you. Yeah, is 9.
There you go.
Yes. Uh, times negative 4. Uh, so what I can do, I have a couple of options here.
Okay.
Um, because I can take away these parentheses and um, sort of switch the positive and negative exponents with everyone in um, in the parentheses. So I could take away the parentheses and make this a negative 2 um, minus 9
Yeah.
times positive 4.
That's a way to do it. That's one way. Yeah, you can do it.
Okay. I don't think that's the easiest way though.
Well, yeah, actually maybe that's not the easiest way because yeah, like it's the actually the name is distributive law. That's the actual way you're doing it because you're distributing the minus sign for all the numbers, correct? But what I will
Okay.
do, what I personally do, will just be solving this one first. I will solve the multiplication first, and then I can apply the distributive law because you will have less factors to
I
operate.
thought of that and I thought I was wrong.
Uh, okay, okay, no, don't worry about
So
it.
you use the little not the parentheses but the ones that go inside of it. So take that down. 9 times negative 4, the friend of my enemy. Hold on.
It's my enemy.
The friend of my enemy is my friend.
No, the friend of my enemy is going to be my enemy as well.
Oh, right.
Right.
Okay. So right. The so that's got it. Okay, so 9 times negative 4, 30, negative 37.
Negative 37, you said?
I think so. Yeah, negative 37.
Uh, 36, right?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I doped myself. I doped myself for a
No,
minute.
that's okay. I wasn't looking at my hands, so I do my nine multiples with my hands. I don't know
Okay.
if you know that trick.
Ah, okay.
Uh,
I actually didn't know that. I memorized it. It's something that is really good to know is that whenever you go with the nine, you know that if, for example, 9 times 4 is always 36 because 36 plus 4 is 40, right? That's like something always, always
oh,
that.
ooh.
And it's something like the easiest way to know that, right? It works with all of the numbers, 7, 8, especially 7 and 8 are the most difficult ones.
Well, yeah, for the multiples of 7 and 8 for any of them, but the way I'm able to remember my nines is by looking at my hands, and you know that 9 times 2, you put your finger down, 10, 8, 9 times 3, 27, 9 times 4, 36, 9 times 5, 45, and then so on.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. That's a good method. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I actually didn't know it. I haven't
It
heard it
it
before.
it works, but it's then you look like a a young person
Ah,
because
no,
you're using your fingers.
never worry about it. Like never ever worry about using the fingers. I don't
Mhm.
know why they tell us, teachers tell us that not to use the fingers because you're gonna look like a kid. But actually, no, I've used the fingers all my entire life. So,
As long as it's right,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
As long as
Okay,
it's
so
right.
I'm writing down -10 minus parentheses 2, but because we got a negative integer, it's going to be 2 minus 36.
Like this, 2 minus 36.
Correct.
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
2 minus 36. So, that's going to be -34.
Correct. Yeah.
But then we have a
The eyes
we
that
can take the
judge.
parentheses away and put -10 plus 34
Yes, that's correct. 10 plus
plus
34.
34. And with that, we can just switch those around and say 34 minus 10.
Yeah, yeah, if you want to do it that way, we can actually go 34 minus 10. It's the same exactly.
Yeah. Just to do it, just it helps me break it down, I guess. And then that would be positive 24.
Positive 24, that's correct. Very
Okay.
good. Super good.
Thank you. Okay, so on to the next one. Uh,
Things to keep in mind, never forget about the powers. Um, just that, remember that if you have, let's say, 3 to the square, or let's say 3 to the cube, always 3 times 3 times 3, on and on. Because that
right.
happens. That happens, yeah.
You look at the number and you're like, oh, it's going to be like if it's 3 to the second power, my brain's going to go, oh, it's 3 times 2. But
Exactly.
it's 3 times 2 with 3 showing up twice.
Exactly, twice. Yeah, that normally happens. It happens a lot. Sometimes we confuse that, but yeah, that's totally fine. Just keep that in mind.
Thank
This
you.
this
Okay.
one is interesting. This one is actually very interesting because of this one.
Is that a good thing? Is that a good thing that you're saying that?
Yeah, it's a very good
Okay.
thing. Yeah, don't you worry about it. I know you can do it.
Okay. So yeah, this power is on the outside of the entire parentheses, so I'm going to have to apply it to everything on the inside, right?
Yes, exactly, exactly. That's what we gotta do. However, if we do it this way, will be super complicated, like right away. So we just
Okay.
solve the parentheses first. I mean the information that will be inside of the parentheses first.
Okay. Okay. So leave the power to
Leave
the
the
side and
power.
do the parentheses first.
Exactly, yeah. Because the thing is that if we do it this way, this is something in algebra that you call a plus b to the square is equals. Just let me tell you, I love this. A to the square plus 2ab plus b to the square, something like that. right?
Oh Lord.
That's algebra, and will
When you
be
break it down, it sounds simple, but when I look at it, my brain's like,
yeah. It's like the hell is this?
right.
Yeah, but exactly. This is just like a way easier to solve it because,
Okay.
but yeah, as we are not in algebra, thanks God, we just can keep solving first the parentheses.
Okay. All right. So parentheses first then. So I'm writing down 7 to the second power minus um parentheses 3 plus I'm going to focus on um 3 to the second power divided by negative 9, which is 9 divided by negative 9.
Correct.
So that's 1.
Almost,
Oh, I don't
because
want to guess. Negative 1.
-1.
Right, because it has a it's going to be a
Exactly.
negative 1 because of the negative integer. Um, so it's going to be 3 minus 1 in the parentheses to the fifth power. Going down, writing again 7 to the second power, um, 4 to the fifth power.
What was that? Once again, 7 to the second
Yep.
power.
And we're taking care of the rest of the parentheses.
But did you say minus here or not?
Oh, did I write? Yes, correct. It's going to
Ah,
be
okay.
minus.
Minus. Okay. Okay.
Minus. Well, we're solving the parentheses. It's going to be 4 to the fifth power.
At the end of days, I think yes. Because I think so. We will have three.
Right. So 9, focusing on 9 divided by negative 9, that's negative 1.
Right.
So we
Correct.
bring that down and that turns it into 3 minus 1 to the fifth power. Correct. Yes.
Okay.
And then going down one more time, that's going to turn it into 4 to the fifth power.
No. No. Because the thing
Okay.
is that we can here at this point we can actually solve this one first if you want.
Oh, okay.
We can go with 49, right? And then the thing is that we gotta take care first of this operation, like the inside of
Okay.
the parentheses. So 3 minus 1 will be 2, and that way we can actually then go with the fifth power.
Why did I think it was I wrote down addition. You're right. I
Oh,
wrote down the wrong thing. I
gotcha.
wrote down 3 plus 1.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that sometimes happens. Don't worry. Yeah, it's like you think that is a minus, but you write it down in different way.
Yeah, and it's little things like that that trip me up. So we're gonna do 2 to the fifth power, which is gonna be quite large. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32.
Yes.
Okay, that's to the fifth power. So here we are at 49 minus 32. Um, I can't do that one in my head. Hold on.
Don't worry.
17.
Let me see. Correct. Very well.
Okay. Okay, good. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, always be careful because sometimes we think something in our head, it sounds good, but then we end up, like writing something else instead of negative or positive sign. So yeah, just whenever you feel that something is not right or something is odd, just go back one line, right?
Okay.
Just go back one line and you find like, oh, here we have a 3 minus 1, so it gotta be a 2. Or if we go even more to the very first line, so we just gotta say, oh, here's a 9 divided by a minus 9. Okay, so it has to be a minus in the writing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So Yeah, it's just a matter of practice, let's say. It's just for you to practice a lot. Um,
Okay.
and that's why I said at the very beginning that this one was interesting, right? Because
Yes, that threw me off a little bit.
right, because if we just do it right away, it will be crazy. I mean, it's very complex.
That would be a lot of multiplication to have
Yeah,
to handle. So
totally.
breaking it down and sort of simplifying it and then doing those pesky powers. Okay, on to it. Um,
This one is actually very interesting. I like this one. These ones
okay,
are plus signs or dividing signs. I can see it.
they are, oh my. Hold on. I will check for you.
Thank you. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I can barely
So
see it.
the first sign is a divide, is a division sign. The second one is a plus sign.
So like this, right? 4 divided by 4 plus 5. Yeah?
Correct.
Great. Awesome. So I'm gonna help you on this one because well, we normally say that we do the powers first or parentheses first, on and on, right? But in this case, you don't want the power to be like this. We never mathematically talking, right? It's not it doesn't look beautiful, in other words, right? So we always want it to look beautiful.
That's
So
ugly.
exactly, that's super ugly right now. I hate it,
Okay.
right? So
Okay.
what we gotta do is turn it into a pretty number. So we solve down first. We always go
Okay.
with down first, and then we
Right.
continue with the others.
Well, this is pretty easy as it's 4 divided by 4 is 1 plus 5, it's 6.
Correct? Exactly.
Okay. All right. So writing down let me let me break this down because I think I've been making the mistake of just going too fast,
Okay.
and that's what's been tripping me up about writing the wrong thing. So, um 4 divided by 4 plus 5 is 6. Okay, in parentheses, I've got 10 minus 1 to the 14th power times 8 to
Correct.
the 6th power.
Exactly. Everything to the sixth power. That's correct.
Right. So I'm going to go and deal with the parentheses first.
Hmm.
Um, and go in and do the powers within the parentheses, which is 1 times 1 to the 14th power is still 1.
Exactly. That's correct.
So
Well,
10.
one thing, one thing to keep in mind. Um, 1 to the 14th power, yes, it is 1, right? But we need to remember that we have minus 1, right? So
Ooh, okay.
if we break it this way, if we're breaking down this way, if we have 1 to the 14th power and the minus sign is outside, um, then this will come up with a minus 1, right?
So it would be -1 then.
In this case, in this case.
Right.
But in this case, it's like uh, this is the same to have the negative sign inside the parentheses because it's part of the one, right? So to the
Mhm.
14th power, it's part of it. So whenever you have a positive power, it's going to end up as a positive number. If you have, well, if the base is negative, right? Of course. Like if the base number is negative and the power is positive, it will end up as a positive number.
Oh, okay. So let me break that down so I can drill that in my head.
Sure.
So we're going to be taking the -1, but that's going to be to the power of +1. So -1 times +1 times +1 times +1.
Exactly. If the base is positive, right? Exactly.
Right.
So if the base is positive and the power is positive, we don't have any issue with that one. It could be positive or odd, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, the word was not positive. The word was even and odd numbers, right? So sorry for that one. So if we have an even number in the power,
Mm-hmm.
it will end up being a positive number. If the base is also positive and we have an odd number, let's say 3, it will end up as positive. But if we have a negative base with a positive, I mean, with a even number, let's say 8, it will end up as positive. And if the base is negative, but the power is an odd number, let's say, for example, 5, is going to end up as a negative number.
I see. Okay. So it's
Kind of a rule.
yeah, I'm going to have to remember this one, but I think I can. So in terms of like, I don't know, like the friend of my friend is my friend, like sort of in terms with that.
Yeah.
The friend of my friend is still my friend. The friend of my friend is still my friend. Um, the any enemy of my friend is still my friend, but the enemy of my enemy is still going to be my enemy
Um,
in this base
well,
in
the
this
thing is,
rule.
on this one, it still be the friend of my friend on this one, on these first two lines, right? Because the
Yes.
base, we focus on the base, correct?
Yes.
So if we do it just 14 times, like my friend or my friend or my friend or my friend, on and on, is always going to be positive, right?
Yes.
And if we do it as well, let's say 3 times, friend of friend of friend, is always going to be friend. The real problem is when we find this, when the base is negative and when we have an even number on the power, because we will have to go first. Enemy of my enemy will be my friend, but then the
Mhm.
friend will be my enemy again, and on and on and on, right? It will be like overwhelming if you see it that way.
Yeah.
So what I will say is just try to memorize this one. If the base is positive, then you got positive. That's it. But when the base is negative, you need to keep this in mind, right?
Okay, so if there's a negative base, make sure to look if it's a positive or negative power.
Not positive or negative, but even and odd
Even
numbers.
or odd,
Even and
correct.
odd.
Okay.
Exactly.
So
We also can have negative powers, but that's a whole other story. It will just switch it with a fraction, and it's way different.
yeah. Okay, that's a really interesting rule, and I'm glad we came across that so I can be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, I think that's very very important because imagine, let's say, well, this case was very interesting, right? Because we can say no, this is -1, just that, right? But it's
Yeah.
not gonna be an -1. It's gonna be +1.
I'll bet you anything they're gonna throw that in the next couple of pages. They're gonna throw that in there.
Yeah, I can assure you that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so back to number 24. Um, parentheses 10 minus 1 to the 14th power uh, times 8 to the 6th power. Um, we're going to focus on the powers within the parentheses. So parentheses 10 minus 1 times 8 in the parentheses to the 6th power, um, working left to right, um,
Mm,
9.
but how much? is going to be negative 1 to the 14th power.
1.
Exactly, but what? Positive or negative?
Oh, -1.
No. According to the rule, if it is a negative base and and an even power, it will end up as positive.
Oh gosh. Okay. You're right. So it would be 10 plus 1, so that would be
Exactly.
11.
There you go. Well, no, hold on. Remember that if it is 1, but then we have a multiplication first. And always multiplications and divisions,
Mm,
right?
okay.
Always
You're
first.
right. I need to write down PEMDAS because I'm forgetting my PEMDAS.
PEMDAS, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Um, so with a negative base and a even power, that's going to make it positive. So in the parentheses, it's going to be 10 plus 1 times 8 to the 6th power. And we're going to do the multiplication first. It's going to be 10 plus 8 in parentheses to the 6th power.
Damn, that's super huge.
Yeah,
Yes,
well,
super huge.
I think I might have to use my calculator on this one. So
Yes.
18 to the 6th power.
Damn, that's super damnly huge. How much is that? In two, three, four,
Hold on,
five,
don't tell me.
6. No, don't worry. Don't worry. I'm not telling you.
Okay. Okay. 18.
I'm just seeing the results. It's actually quite big.
Yeah. 18 um
I can tell you a faster way to use a calculator because
here.
if you go this way, you can go 18 times 18, so that
Yes.
will be 2, right? That will be twice, and then you
Yes.
just click enter many times. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times,
Oh,
and
I don't think my calculator works that way. Enter. Well, that's you're using the calculator on
I
your
think you got an
computer?
iPhone as well, right?
No, I
No?
have an Android.
Ah, okay,
Sorry.
okay. No, but I think it works the same if I go with the to the calculator and I put 18 times 18 and I just click the equal sign. Ah, no, it doesn't work on mine. Yes, damn it.
That's okay. That's okay. Um, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're in multiple millions. I'm really surprised they're doing that. Um, oh, I don't believe. Okay, maybe you can make sense of this. I popped over to the answer page and it's got something quite different.
Let me check. Yeah,
Okay.
'cause I'm as well looking like how
Yeah.
much is minus 1 to the 14th, and actually, yeah, it is one positive. But what shows on your end?
I'm sending it to you.
Okay, let me check.
Yeah. I got like 34 million something.
It was 1,888,000.
Okay.
But let me check. So here's 10 minus 1 to the 14th plus, I mean, times 8. Where did I put the 14? Focusing inside the first set of patterns. Evaluate evaluate the powers first, then multiplication. Yeah, that's what I mean. If you go minus 1 to the 14th is that's super weird because
So apparently they're keeping focusing on the first set of parentheses in
yeah,
this
because
case.
look
It's
look
not
at
going to
this. to the 14th power. It will end up in 1. You see?
Yeah.
It is 1 positive. They gotta be. I think that the problem, minus 1 raised to an even power, always results in 1 positive. The answer is 1. Not pretty sure exactly why the book is showing that. I think, what I
Well,
think,
1 is an odd number, right? That
one is
negative
an,
1,
uh,
yeah, 1 is,
is the base, actually, is the base, but what I
yeah.
think that the book is telling us, they are taking it not like this, but like this. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me check because well that's what I actually don't like the left to right format. It's very very tricky sometimes. So if we put it 10 times 10 minus 1 to the 14th power uh, and then it goes times 8, correct? And then all that to the sixth. Yeah, you see what ChatGPT tells me? Um,
Hmm.
let's break it down. 1 to the 14 is 1. Since any power, ta ta ta. Okay, multiply by 8. What happened? Let me see. Yeah, I'm actually not getting because you see that here is telling me that the 1 is going to be positive. Yeah, it's here says 1 times 8 and 1 is positive. But then it tells me 10 minus 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually not. I don't get it because minus 1 to the 14th power is 1 positive.
Yeah,
And
so
then
it should have changed it.
um, why are you subtracting if the 1 is positive? Evaluate the exponent. I'm evaluating the exponent correct. It's 1 since the power does that multiply by 8. I did subtract because the original expression has a minus sign. Okay. Now I see what's going on. Yeah,
You're gonna have to explain it to me.
don't worry about it. The reason that this happens is because of this. Yeah, that's why I really don't like this type of format. The real problem is that the when you have this, it's like if they are really showing you this minus and then a factor inside the parentheses. So it will be 1 to the 14th power times 8 and then close again the parentheses.
Okay.
That's the
So,
like the real thing they are showing you. Why? Because this is a factor. This 1 times 8 is just like one expression, one only expression. So we will have to reorganize everything. Yeah, that's what I don't like, but well, let's break it down.
okay.
So we first have uh 10 minus the 1 to the 14th times the 8, all everything to the 6th. Okay, uh, if we reorganize this, okay, if we just redo this, this information that is here has to be isolated because it's a multiplication.
Okay.
Okay. So if we isolate that one, if we isolate the 1 times the 8, it will end up as uh, bracket 10 minus a parenthesis 1 to the 14th times 8 and bracket at the end.
Okay.
Please let me know if it is actually more clear because it sounds kind of weird, but let me know.
No. So we're focusing on, so we go inside the parentheses, ignoring the powers, and then go to isolate the multiplication.
Yes, exactly. We isolate the multiplication because when we find a multiplication, it transforms into one factor, right? So when we find factors, we give more priority to those. So in other words, this is actually going to, we have to rewrite it, right? And we rewrite it this way, the red ones,
Okay.
okay?
So
Actually, yeah, tell me.
isolating, so going, okay, so back to, we're taking the expression, going inside of the parentheses, isolating the factors, and prioritizing those.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. PEMDAS,
PEMDAS. Yes.
kind of.
Yeah,
Um,
that's why I don't like when they show you the information like this. Yeah, because this is disorganized.
right. And it says, even, and if you, the picture that I showed you, they don't even do the outside factors, or the outside factors. They don't do the outside powers until the very end.
Yeah,
They
that
leave
that's
that
why
to
it was
black.
very confusing. I know because you say like, but why they are doing that? The real reason behind all this is that they don't give you the information organized, right? So you need to
Yeah,
find a way to organize it properly and then solve it. Otherwise,
right,
it will cause a lot of confusion.
right.
Um,
So reorganize it so that the, so that everything makes sense. Um,
exactly.
so starting with the parentheses first, go and find the factors, isolate the factors, solve those first. So focusing on 1 to the 14th power times 8.
Uh-huh. and
Um,
and then we solve the rest. And actually, you know what? I think it will be better if we reorganize every time. Like for example, this one that we did before, I don't like this. If you like a dividing sign next to a minus sign,
yeah, that looks crazy.
crazy at all, like super crazy. So what I will do with, especially with this type of problems, will be reorganizing first. So every time you see a dividing sign or a multiplication sign, you're going to isolate that one, okay? Right
Okay.
away. So let's do something. For example, this one, if we reorganize it, it will be 7 to the square minus. This is not going to be in a parenthesis. This is going to be a bracket. So it's going to
Okay.
be 3 plus parenthesis
Right.
3 to the square divided by, and this is another parenthesis here, minus 9. Uh,
That looks crazy.
it is. This is the proper way for you to see the information, right?
Right. So isolating the parentheses help isolate all the information so you can prioritize properly.
There
But
you go.
honestly, all of these parentheses all around,
It
I want to
look
get rid of all that.
overwhelming, right? Yeah, they look overwhelming. Super.
Well, I'm
But
sure with practice I'll get used to it.
yeah, and I think that this is the best way to do it because otherwise we can get that confusion. You just saw that we got a 18 to the sixth power, and that's super crazy. So the good thing is that you can still do it. Like for example, if I have this expression, I just can how do you call this in English? I forgot it. Like
Um, delete,
delete, I
cancel
think.
out.
All right, I'm gonna say delete. Let's say, and I can put nine it right away, and
Right.
then I just say nine divided by minus nine, and then I delete once again. That's like kind of a technique we have in mathematics. So just
Okay.
like putting a straight line into it and writing the actual result. It'll
So
be
redo, just redo it all.
redo it all exactly.
Okay.
We do all this because yeah, we don't want to get confused by uh, all these mixed operations flying. So once you do it, you just can rewrite the whole thing. It'll be 3
So
plus minus 1.
question.
Yeah, tell me.
So a good rule for would you say that a good rule for dealing with mixed operation expressions would be just to go in and before you even solve anything, just reorganize it?
Yes, actually, yes, exactly. Because if we reorganize the information they give us and we put it not like easier way to see it, but an easy way to understand it, right? Because if we just see this, I thought that it was gonna be in another way, but then we
Yeah.
we realize that actually that's not the right way. Yeah. But if we reorganize the whole thing, then we can understand what exactly we have to do. So if we put on the bracket, we put on the minus sign here, and we solve these parentheses here, everything goes easy, right?
Okay.
Even when it looks more complicated, yeah, with more things and more stuff flying around, will be better to solve that one.
Those are just the tools I need to use to organize it to make it easier.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay. All right. So this is what I have on my paper. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, it's probably really blurry.
You were going fine, but yeah, when we found that problem, let me see. Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's pretty
Okay.
good.
Okay. Yeah, that's exactly what you have. Good, good. Okay, so prioritizing the factors. So we're going to, so 1 to the 14th power is still going to be 1
One.
times 8. So that's 8. That was a lot of fuss
Yeah, that's a
for
lot of.
nothing. So now we can get rid of the fancy brackets and go back to regular old parentheses.
Mhm.
So that is 10 minus 8, right?
Yeah.
And then we still have the powers that we got to deal with. So 10 minus 8 to the sixth power, um, 2 to the sixth power,
Yeah.
um, 2 times 2 is 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, which is the correct answer. We got there. We eventually got there.
That's correct.
Wow.
Yeah, like um, it- uh, 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 as I was saying before, these format, yeah, especially this format, the left to right format, causes
Yeah.
a lot of trouble. And I've seen people arguing with people in Facebook, like fighting and insulting each other because they think it's one way and they think it's the other way, right? But the best thing we can do is that one. It's just putting on all the brackets, putting all the parentheses, and that way. we can know what exactly we have to do.
Okay. So using parentheses to reorganize the expression. Oh, and just top priority when looking at parentheses is reorganization first.
Reorganizations first, especially when we have multiplications and divisions. Okay, so
Okay.
let's say, for example, if we go back, this one doesn't have this problem, you see, because it's just very straightforward. Um, but this one, for example, has that problem, and we actually didn't organize it properly, right? If we just
Okay.
do that on that
So
one,
so let me see if I reorganize this correctly on my own.
sure thing, let me know.
Okay. Okay. Uh all right. So -10 minus, I'm just writing it down first. 2 plus 3 to the second power. Sorry, there keeps being a pop-up. Come on now. Cooperate. Okay. Um times -4 in parentheses. So going into the parentheses, I'm going to prioritize the expression and isolate it. So that's going to be -10 minus bracket 2 plus parentheses 3 to the second power times -4 bracket parentheses or
Yeah.
parentheses bracket.
Well,
Yeah,
when we have a multiplication sign next to next to a minus sign, we normally put a parenthesis as well on that one.
correct. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
You did say that. Okay.
So we put on that one. We close the parenthesis and then we close it again.
And close it again and then put another bracket in there.
Yeah. Normally, what I do, when I first started, I do this and I put in the
Yes.
parenthesis in the different colors. So that indicates that red is part of the red and black is part of the black, right?
Yeah, that process is better in my mind.
100%. Yeah. Like imagine,
Yeah.
yeah, imagine it just like actually Excel. I don't know if you have used Excel before. The Excel does that. They put the parentheses in
Really?
different colors for you to get it better. And we just go blacky, and there you go. Perfect.
Yes. See, that makes such a difference. And I think I prefer to write down my math, just that's just me. But I think while I'm practicing, I can use like a multicolored pen. You know, one of those things that.
Ah, yeah, the one that actually has different points.
Right, yeah, until I get used to it. That would be a really good strategy tool. I'm writing that down. Using different. Okay, yeah, because looking at yours and looking at mine, it's the exact same numbers, but it looks entirely different in my brain.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, yeah, it's terrible. I know now I understand what you mean by like that looks ugly. Um, so we're going to be working on the first expression, which is 3 to the second power times -4. The friend of my enemy is my enemy.
Hmm.
So the result is going to be, I like that you used blue too. That
Good.
makes it look so much more simple. Um, so we're going to be we're still in the bracket right now. We're still in bracket land. Um, so um, focusing on 3 to the second power times -4, that's going to be negative. Wait, do I do the powers first?
You do the powers first, exactly.
Oh, right.
When
Okay, so that'd be 9.
it's just going inside and inside and inside, right? So when you go finally to the most inner part of it, you start solving what you have to do. So in this case, when you are already inside the parentheses, you say, okay, what I gotta do first? Okay, 3 to the second power. Okay, let's do that one first.
Right. So 3 to the second power is 9. And we're still in Wonderland with the brackets. Um, in the brackets, in the parentheses, 9 times -4. Um, that's negative 36, right?
Mm-hmm.
-36. So now we can take all those ugly things out. -36, close parentheses, close brackets. Um, so we can take the first set of brackets away, um, and solve everything. So it would be 2 minus 36 is negative, or is positive 34.
But if you rewrite it at the very beginning, how much it was at the very beginning?
It was negative 36.
But here, right? Like minus 10
Minus 10 minus
minus
2
2.
uh minus 36.
Okay.
Yeah. So that would be, oh, brain freeze. Um I had a complete brain freeze. Um
Don't worry. If you want, let's do the parentheses first. That will be this
oh,
one.
I forgot to write the parentheses. That's what's throwing me off. Okay. Yeah, so positive 2 minus 36, um that's negative 34.
Negative 34. Yeah.
Right. So we can just write negative 10 minus 34. That's negative. Woo, my brain. Um, hold on.
If you want, you can take a look to my screen just one moment. Um,
Yeah, because my brain. Oh, it's minus negative 34, so we can just make that a plus.
exactly. There you go.
Yeah. I don't know how I got tripped. Oh, because of the negative in front of the parentheses. Right. Okay. Yeah, so negative 10 plus 34, we can switch that around. And that's positive 24.
Exactly. And actually, if you take a look on this one, it will be the same result as the very first one we did, right? It will end
Correct.
up in a 24, right? But
Yes.
what I always say, if we organize it better, we're going to avoid all those troubles and all those issues of just getting a crazy number. So
Yes.
I know this one was quite easier if you actually seen in somehow
Yeah,
it
that
was
when we went to, that was 22. Yeah, this was all the work that I wrote down, and it was 4 lines, and we came to the same result. And with the last solution that we did, it was it was quite complicated, but I think it was because um, we were focusing more on. I remember we were talking about just focusing on PEMDAS on 22. Um, what was throwing me off for 24 was not only did we have an additional expression in the powers, we also had a very large expression with, or a large power within the expression. It needed a lot of reorganization
yeah,
to simplify
exactly.
it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That you're totally right because if we the thing is that if we just go right away into the solution, let's say I'm going to put this both together and we can make a comparison between each other. So we added
yeah,
one more step actually. Well, in mine, I actually added just one more step because I what I do is just this. Yeah. Um, so when we go with the first line, The first line is just going to be organization with the
Yeah.
brackets and the parentheses. And here we did it immediately. You see that we jumped from here, we actually jumped this one right away.
Yes. And sometimes with certain expressions you can do that because they're simple enough you can do them in your head.
Exactly, exactly. In that point, that the expression is very simple, we can do it. But the real problem was when we found this, right? When we
Hmm.
found this specific thing. And uh, the real thing or the real problem is that when we have a negative base to any power, let's say a positive, I mean, even or odd number, we gotta keep in mind that the sign will change. Yeah,
Yes.
depending on what it is. So whenever you find this case, this specific case, um, I think we can start applying the parenthesis organization. And when it's just simple enough for you not to do that, you can do it the other way, right?
Okay.
Because here it was not too complicated. We just like went straight to the point and we got the
Yeah.
solution. But when we find these specific things, negative bases with powers, we better start doing that one, like rewriting everything.
Correct. Okay. Well, I'm really glad I had you for this chapter. I thought we were gonna whiz right through that, and it took an hour. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so
The thing is, there are many specific things that we have to know. Otherwise, when we continue in mathematics, it will destroy us.
right. So I definitely need to find some like practice books for like just practicing reorganizing, not even solving, just practicing reorganizing it correctly. Because if you look at the next, oh, they call it nested parentheses.
Nested parentheses?
Yes.
Which ones?
With the brackets.
This one, right? This one are nested, you said?
Nested. Um, they talk about, have you ever seen nested wooden dolls? They're those nesting dolls where they have the little doll inside of the bigger doll, inside of a bigger doll.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
at the
yeah.
end-
I know what it
yes.
is.
So
That's it. Yeah,
nested parentheses.
that's exactly what we're doing. Yeah.
That's cute, but I still don't I still think it's terrible. Um, how much more time do we have? I think we got our hour.
Uh, uh, so far 9 minutes. Just 9 minutes
Okay.
more.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Okay. Um, so yeah, we can go ahead and call it because I don't think we'll have time to start in on the next session, but I do want to start doing this every week. Are you able to do that on Saturdays?
Yeah, for sure. No problem. We can do Saturdays.
Oh, that would be amazing. Yeah, that would be really great. I did, like I said, I did finally sign up for going to school. Um, and I'm depending on where I'm at, uh, as far as my math skills, I might just head straight into my prerequisites, or if we're still working on that, do other classes until I'm at the college level. Um, but you've been such a big help,
Oh,
so I do
thank you so
appreciate it.
much. Yeah, no, it's always a pleasure, Julie. And yeah, as soon as I can help you out in everything, I'll be glad to always do that.
Great. Um, I will. I'm gonna go ahead. It was Cash App, right?
No, it was PayPal. I was going to give you another
Oh,
email address. I was going to give you
okay.